KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Pre-qualification is available at splatero.com.
Coming up on the Parker Edison Project, this episode is about our different customs, how they define us, and how, when put together, they make our city great.
It's so rich. You just walk down the street and you see 10 different languages being spoken. You see people wearing hijabs, people wearing different ethnic wardrobes. You hear karaoke sung in Vietnamese down the street. It's so rich culturally. I kind of didn't know what that history, where does it come from?
Did you know San Diego welcomes more refugees than any other California county? More than San Francisco, Sacramento, or LA?
It kind of follows what civil war is going on in another part of the world, what area is suffering from genocide and war, and that's kind of how the neighborhood evolves.
If you're from a faraway place, it's quite possible a school teacher could be your first real guide into this country. I'll talk to an educator on the front lines.
We actually really try not to use the term refugee because it categorizes these students. There's so much more than refugees.
And grab a cup of coffee and be part of our experiment about how customs even play a part in our imaginations.
Yo, what's happening? Welcome to Black Coffee. Can I take your order?
That's coming up next on the Parker Edison Project.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Pre-qualification is available at splatero.com.
Put my name on this chair. Excellent yourself?
Oh, I see why you're here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
Can we get you a drink or a wine or a beer or anything?
You are now listening to the Parker Edison Project.
From KPBS, this is the Parker Edison Project, where we look at the tenets of culture and what really makes America great. This episode is about customs, how they shape us in our perception of people outside of our culture. For someone moving to a new country or even city, their teachers can really shape their first impressions of this new culture. We'll start in City Heights, where a team of tutors are taking a holistic approach to educating a unique demographic. We'll speak to Robert, an educator facing the challenges of weaving American teaching practices and cultural understanding while welcoming an often overlooked population.
My name's Robert. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Who are you and what is SDRT?
My name's Robert Lee. I'm on the board of directors for San Diego Refugee Tutoring. It's a organization that supports students in the City Heights neighborhood of San Diego, the refugee international population, and our students. We support them and address educational and social injustice through holistic academic support.
Do you know what inspired the conception of SDRT? What spawned it?
San Diego is one of the largest cities in California that resettles refugees, more than San Francisco, more than LA, more than Sacramento. And it has this very rich history of supporting the international refugee community. Yet that story, that narrative, oftentimes is unnoticed amongst those who live in San Diego and those who call it their home. And now we reach out to more than 100 students, and we have tutoring every Tuesday and Thursday for these students throughout the school year.
That's wild impressive. Really, it is. Is there something important about City Heights? Like, is there a special part that City Heights plays?
Yes, actually, I'm from Chicago, and so I moved here about 12 years ago. And when I came to San Diego, I really didn't know the history of San Diego, the history of the different neighborhoods of San Diego. And when I got connected with this organization the first year that it was incepted, I realized that City Heights it's different. It's so rich. You just walk down the street and you see 10 different languages being spoken. You see people wearing hijabs, people wearing, different ethnic wardrobes. You hear different, I hear karaoke sung in Vietnamese down the street. It's so rich culturally. I kind of didn't know what that history, where does it come from? One of the largest communities of refugees do resettle here in San Diego. And one of the reasons kind of traces back to the Vietnam War in the 1960s and 1970s, when a large number of Vietnamese refugees were brought into the California, San Diego area. And the first neighborhoods that they started resettling in were several neighborhoods, including City Heights. And that started the foundation of support groups, refugee resettlement organizations, and resources being anchored in that neighborhood to support initially the Vietnamese community. But each generation, every couple of years, you start to see resettlement groups of different ethnicities, different cultures. It kind of follows what civil war is going on in another part of the world, what area is suffering from genocide and war and discrimination. And that's kind of how the neighborhood evolves.
Wow. The first thing that I get kind of excited right there. When you're dealing with that type of variety with so many different cultures, what are some of the techniques that are used in the program to kind of unify the learning process?
It's a challenge, and we really do have to factor in a child's national, cultural, and even family history of trauma that have really tragically kind of occurred with a lot of these students and these families. And that trauma follows the students into the classroom. And that mental health aspect is an even more complex component. Some of the students haven't gone to school prior to coming to the States. Some have. We have to ask the question constantly, how do we navigate through that to enhance their educational experience and then help them thrive educationally, which is ultimately our goal.
Absolutely. What's the average success rate for refugee students in the city right now?
Pause. Between you and me, that was a loaded question. I know what the numbers are, and they're bleak. City Heights has a very high poverty rate. Nearly 40% of its residents are living below the poverty line. There's nearly a 30% dropout rate for refugee students. Look around the room you're in. However many people are in there, subtract a third. That's what's happening regularly to classrooms with refugee students.
I think success is probably a very, very relative term as far as what are our goals. And I think success is creating a place where the students can come and feel safe and protected and loved, and having them come back to see us. I think that's the biggest success. There's something really special about these students. We actually really try not to use the term refugee because it categorizes these students. They're so much more than refugees. They're bundles of joy. They are students and kids and children who are witty, who love to laugh, who desire, friendship, who desire relationship. It just melts your heart. And at least for me, that's what happened.
Sounds like you invest in the students and they invest in you. And then that's the biggest priority. And then from that, you can add education in any subject.
Yes, exactly. We realize that if a student meets a different tutor every week, there's that awkwardness and timidness and intimidation maybe of working with a different person and not knowing them. And so those are barriers as well, with a student really being able to feel comfortable and let down their guards and really be able to focus on their school and their learning.
Are there other organizations that are offering these similar services?
There are, and they're absolutely wonderful. I kind of mentioned some of the resettlement organizations in the community in the area. For example, the IRC, the International Rescue Committee. And there are a lot of other wonderful organizations. I just met somebody from a new organization. They've been around for a year and a half, called New Vision Urban Impact. City Heights Runners is a group that really focuses on high schoolers, urban life. Ministries is a faith-based organization that kind of pours into teens. Star Pals is an organization sponsored by the San Diego Police Department. All these organizations are kind of part of a team effort, and but the needs are great, and the workers are few. So we're definitely hoping.
How do you help to encourage or maintain the cultures among students?
That's a great question. We want to respect each student and family and share with them how valued they are as individuals and as people.
I've seen what you guys do, and this was an awesome opportunity to get to hear more about it. So I'm super excited to put this down.
Thanks so much. I heard you went to Hoover for a little while too, just down the street from here.
I did. I was only there for, I think I did maybe half semester of 10th grade, and then I did continuation school. So
you know the area, and so you know what it looks like and how it feels and the vibe, and it's just really cool and such an honor that for you to allow us to just talk about it.
The term culture shock refers to the difficulties students can have fitting in. As humans, we depend on customs to define who we are, and without them, we get lost. So if you're from a faraway place, it's quite possible a school teacher could be your first real guide into this new country. By creating an environment of inclusion, educators not only provide new citizens with a space to thrive, they set a standard of understanding that ultimately reinforces the idea that all are truly welcome. As always, I'm interested in your feedback. Send me your thoughts and insights. I'm at Parker Edison on Twitter. That's PRKREDISON. Also, if you'd like to volunteer or learn more about San Diego Refugee Tutoring, send them an email at sanDiegoRefugeeTutoring.com. There's a link in the show's description. And hang out. I'm going to grab a cup of coffee, and I'll be right back to demonstrate how customs even play a part in our imaginations. Stay tuned.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Pre-qualification is available at splatero.com.
I love you. I think I always will. Even now, I'm reeling from the effect that you'll have on the rest of my life. I'm different now. As badly as I want to feel the heat between us, I know exactly how this is going to end.
Now streaming at platformcollection.com is the new film short, Run Rick, a who's who of San Diego talent. Brought to you by the good people at Platform Collection.
You are now listening to the Parker Edison Project.
Yo, what's happening? Welcome to Black Coffee. Can I take your order?
Yeah, let me get an Americano with 2 ice cubes.
Cool. Can I have your name, please?
Jack.
All right, we'll have your order in a little bit.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. Welcome to Black Coffee. Can I take your order?
I would like a large ice mocha with an added shot, whipped cream, and caramel drizzle.
Would you like a gluten-free sweet potato pie muffin to go with that?
No, thank you.
You sure?
Positive.
All right. Can I have your name, please?
My name is Casey.
Can you spell that?
Caycee.
All right. We'll have your order in a second. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Next.
All right. Let me see. What is this? How about let me get the peppermint mocha flat latte. Can I get that with like soy milk? You got soy here?
Yeah. And can I have your name?
Yeah, it's Casj, Casj.
All right. Sounds good. We'll have your order in a little bit. Would you like anything else?
No, that's all. Cheers.
All right. Have a good one. Can I take your order? We have a long line.
Yes, you can. Can I get a chai tea latte, easy on the ice, please?
All right. Can I have your name?
DahFlow.
All right, sounds good. Well, we'll get your order and be out to you in a second.
Let's try an experiment. I'm going to play back the drink orders, and I want you to picture the scene. And from what you see in your head, tell me who's black.
Let me get an Americano with 2 ice cubes.
Yes, I would like a large iced mocha with an added shot.
How about let me get the peppermint mocha flat latte. Can I get that with like soy milk? You got soy here.
Can I get a chai tea latte, easy on the ice, please?
So, what'd you imagine? Hand gestures? Hairstyles? Our minds make movies off the things we hear. We usually use customs to fill in the missing details. Let's hear where our customers are from and find out just how close your mental picture was to real life.
My name is Casj, but I go by Bizzy Balboa. I'm originally from Valdosta, Georgia, currently in San Diego, California.
Hey, Opoetik. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, in California.
So my name is Casj, and I am originally from Washington, D.C., via England and Greece and some other places, and then right on back here.
My name is DahFlow. I'm from New York City, but my mother and father were born and raised in the Dominican Republic.
For the record, they're all black. I'll let DahFlow break it down for you.
I'm putting this segment together because there's this big discussion about custom and culture and the terms like black and African American. When it comes to those, how do you describe yourself?
Black. I would describe myself as black.
Why?
The history, my history, the history of my people, the history of my culture, what was done to us. That whole African American thing doesn't ring with me.
Why?
Just the terminology, and I don't know, it just feels weird when, you're an African American. It's like, no, I'm black. I don't know, to me, there's a stigma to it.
I agree.
That's a term that white Caucasians use to make themselves feel at ease, because I believe to them that word black has a deep, deep history that they don't want to look back upon. So African American is an easier way for it to roll off their tongue without having to do like any mental research to what we really are.
Black is complex. The term African American doesn't acknowledge all the places slaves were trafficked from. Whether accidental or not, this hinders descendants of slaves from connecting with their roots. It also lets early traffickers gloss over some rather nasty past actions. I think these days, black is less a physical description and more an emotional one. Black, as in blackout, a condition that affects the memory, characterized by a sense of loss. It impairs your ability to form new memories. I think that's the black DahFlow is using, and the stigma that the term African American skirts.
It just dawned on me. It's like, it's a racist word to them, and they know it. There's a stigma attached to the word black. African American, not much of a stigma. There's less sting to that.
I never even thought that. To be like, that's an easier umbrella to kind of fit everybody in. It's a safe.
Which is like kind of ignorant to me, because you got to ask yourself, okay, well, where did they come from and how did they get there? We're not all Americans. I'm sorry, that's factual.
And we're not all African. We don't all come from Africa. Maybe that's part of it too.
Exactly, and that goes back to your original question. Are you black or are you African American?
We have regional habits like the way we dress or speak, and they become customs. We get a bunch of customs, and those become a culture that we pass on for decades, sometimes centuries. This is a tangent, but numbers are in order by their value. The number 2 is between 1 and 3 because there's no other way to get from 1 to 3. But letters? We just sing them in that order. The song we sing the ABCs to was written in the 1800s. 200 years ago, somebody was able to remember the alphabet in that order, and we've been teaching it that way ever since. That's how quickly customs are created and how long they can last. Speaking of customs, here at the Parker Edison Project, it's customary to feature a new musical guest. Well, this episode's a twofer. We got musician and podcast host Bizzy Balboa talking with artist Oranje about his recent foray into music. Apparently, it started when his speech therapist recommended singing as a tool. It's mad interesting. Check out this clip.
Thanks for tuning into the Parker Edison Project. This is your girl, Bizzy Balboa of the Get to Know Me podcast, and we're joined today with Orange Space, a recording artist out of San Diego, California.
How you guys doing? Yeah, so my name is Orange Space with a J. I'm originally from Imperial Valley, California. I've been living here for 2.5 years now. I'm 22. For a long time, I went by Ricky Garcia, which is just my real name. The reason for it to be Orange Space was I'm a very visual person, and I kind of put myself in a very creative and a visual mind space when I'm making music. And it's always very like a colorful kind of experience. And my favorite color is orange. I feel like at that time, my songs and everything that I was doing, the mood that I was in was all kind of in an orange tone and an orange like feel. And I couldn't really explain it, but I knew that was the direction that I was going in.
When did you realize that music is something that you wanted to pursue?
I've been playing instruments and stuff like that since the 4th grade. I didn't know that I wanted to pursue it until I was 16. I was always doing music in the background, and it was something that I was doing, like, it was for fun. And I realized that, doing music was it was like it was one of the only things that like made me feel like I had some kind of potential and like value.
In what ways did the speech therapy help you with the singing?
Speech therapy, it was something that I wouldn't say like it necessarily like took it away, obviously. It definitely helped me understand why I stuttered, and it definitely helped me understand like how it works. And so when it comes to the music, I think I was in high school, and my speech therapist, she had said like, to say these sentences in the form of a song, in the rhythm of a song. And so that's when she was like, so you realize that, when you're singing, when you're talking, it's completely different. Even though I'm using my voice, the speech side of it is from the left side of the brain, and the music aspect of it is on the right side of the brain. And they totally work differently. I think now, like I said, I still very much do stutter, but now I've learned kind of small ways to get around it. And so, yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about the song that we're about to hear and, the story behind it?
Yeah, so this song is called Zoom, and it came out in October. It's something that kind of just reflects on my life in the past 2.5 years. So, yeah.
Where can we find you?
My Instagram is Orange Space, Orange spelled ORANJE SPACE, Orange Space. That's my Instagram. That's my Twitter. You can find me on Spotify under the same name. Apple also. Everything's going to be under Orange Space.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Orange Space, Zoom.
Sitting nosebleeds, I can barely see. Back in 03, everything was free. Like a heart attack, never made a beat. Fast forward to year 17. Now I'm 21 and living on my own. So I added 10 apartments in a home. Got friends that I never would have known. A side of me that I never would have shown. Speeding 1,000 miles per hour, now our eyes be chasing. They won't catch us yet. I had a dream that I met God, we had a conversation. So where do we go from here? You see me downtown the other night. Big city, long way from southern lights. I've been thinking about you every time I close my eyes. Thinking about you, close my eyes. And nowadays, I've been trying to keep focus. Signed my second lease in the city, I left notice. It was hard for me to go, but I never felt like home. Falling line, I apologize if it seems like I left you behind. Memories resurfacing, I press rewind as I say goodbye.
Where you at, man? It's late. People are here. They starting to trickle in, and ain't nobody heard from you in like the last 3 hours. So, where you at? Where are you? You need to come home.
Speeding 1,000 miles per hour, now our eyes be chasing. They won't catch us yet. I had a dream that I met God, we had a conversation. I said, where do we go from here? Sitting on those knees, I can barely see. Back in 03, everything was free. Like a heart attack, never made a beat. Fast forward to year 17, now I'm 21 and living on my own. So I had to turn apartments into homes. Got friends that I never would have known. It's telling me that I never would have shown. Yeah.
Thanks for stopping in. The Parker Edison Project is produced and hosted by yours truly, Parker Edison, and the good people at Platform Collection. Be sure to subscribe and catch the next episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, visit theparkeredisonproject.com or hit us on Instagram at the PE Project. My guy Kurt Kohnen is audio production manager. Kinsey Moore-Lynn is my favorite podcast coordinator. Lisa J. Morissette is operations manager, and John Decker is associate general manager for content. This programming is made possible in part by the KPBS Explore Content Fund. I love saying that because it reminds me of Sesame Street. Y'all stay safe out there. This episode goes out to Marcus Cutfather Tufono, Zev Love X, King Ghidorah, Victor Vaughn, and Metalface, the motherfucking supervillain. Salute.
KPBS On Demand is supported by Splatero, helping homeowners pay off debt by offering streamlined access to your home's equity with no additional monthly payments or new debt. Splatero provides a lump sum payment in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Pre-qualification is available at splatero.com.